Alright, topic of this is going to be overthinking, thinking in general, understanding your thoughts, your past mistakes, and looking forward instead of backwards. And I may get a bit off topic, but it'll make sense in time depending on how you look at it. So, where I want to start. Okay. About 7 or 8 months ago, I was in a very low situation because I could not I could not do anything. And this was my fault as it was because I just was on the same rotation every day. Wake up, eat, sleep, wake up, eat, play video games, sleep, that same rotation every day. And because of that, I just fell into a kind of rotation where I would just be sad because I didn't have worth. I didn't feel worthy, or I didn't feel, proud of myself for because I didn't have any accomplishments to feel proud of myself with. So, um, I woke up one day and I just thought, wow, I need to find people to talk to because as it is, I had my friends. I had my very small but good group of friends that I talk to every day. And yeah, they're good friends. They're amazing friends. I would never ask for more. But when you get in that rotation of just, eat, sleep, or wake up, eat, play video games, sleep, I feel nothing. I don't feel good about myself. So I decided to start and trying to reconnect with old elementary school friends from back when I didn't live in the AV. So what I did was I kind of just woke up with a couple names in mind. And keep in mind, I never thought of these names since the third grade when I first moved out to the Antelope Valley. I those thoughts were just deep in my mind that I never thought I would think about again, but for some reason I did. And the first name that just came to mind was this one girl that I don't know. I just thought about it, and I'm like, okay, gotta find this one person. So with with my luck, I found her Instagram. We followed each other. We talked for about a month and a half straight, and as dumb as it sounds, finding her and finding some other people from elementary gave me a purpose at that time because I it just helped me out of this slump, and especially her. She definitely helped me out of that slump because it's not like we had deep talks. It's not like we came to each other for issues. We just talked. We had goofy chats with each other, and it made me happy. It definitely created this self happiness, or not really self happiness, but happiness within myself. And um, with that, life just kind of started to go in a certain direction with both of us. We both School was starting soon. I started to move. She had her issues. I had mine, and we just, you know, went our separate ways. And because of that, we unfollowed each other. We stopped talking to each other. I would very rarely text her, and when I would just be like, how are you, blah blah. But when I just stopped talking to her, I kind of just thought about it, and when I think of every single possible everything that I can remember. I think about it, and whether that's my decisions, my the words that I say, it doesn't matter. I will think that, and I will overthink to the point where I will not stop thinking about it until another situation pops up. So I kept on thinking, like, what if I said this? What if I got up off my ass and said, oh, let's go hang out? Would we be closer? Would we be further apart? What would happen? And that's with every single one of my friends. Whether that's friends that live, you know, an hour away, 45 minutes, to friends that maybe live not even fucking 15 minutes away, not even 10 minutes away. They live so close, but we are just so distant. And that's because I think about the situations, or I think about the future, or I just overthink, and I'm like, what if I fuck up? What if I say the wrong thing, or do the wrong thing, or just make the terrible decision that will just alter the ideal situation for me? What if I do that? And I think about that way too much, and it eats me alive because I just can't stop thinking about it. So when we stopped talking, of course I thought about what I could have done, what I should have done. What if I did this? What if I did that? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? Like, I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I I couldn't stop thinking about it, and then I just forgot about it again. Now, um, with that whole thing, recently I just started to think about the situations that I was in, right? And with most situations, I use it towards personal gain, in a sense that I use it to create a better image of myself and create a better person for myself, right? So I was looking back and I realized that, or I just thought, like, why do I overthink so much? Why do I tend to create these false situations in my mind that, the shit already happened, right? We already talked, we already grew apart, it happened. Why do I reminisce on stuff that happened, 3, 4 months ago, to maybe even fucking 5, 6 years ago? It it sucks, and I know I'm not the only one that experiences this, because everyone has these doubts in their minds, or everyone has these thoughts in their minds, because they are afraid of the past catching up with them, the past repeating itself, or the future not being the way that they want it to be. I understand that, and I will forever empathize with people that feel that way, because due to me overthinking, I have fell into the worst possible areas of my life because I overthink. The advice I want to give is, don't waste your time overthinking on situations that you had no control over, situations that already happened. Instead, learn from those situations, because you cannot create a better person or a better image of yourself if you don't learn from those mistakes that you had. Um, you may have you may have had a fight with one of your closest friends, and you guys are probably not gonna talk for a week, a month, fucking do, maybe even a year. You may never talk again, and that may be your fault, that may be their fault. But instead, understand that, you know, it happened, you can move on. As hard as it may seem, like, you can move on from that. And don't just move on and forget about it. Don't just learn how to hide your issues or cover up your issues. Instead, learn from that shit. Face your issues and learn from that. Because if you learn from it, you're gonna create the best possible image and the best possible self that you can ever create. And that's exactly why sadly, I reminisce on the past a lot. But the reason why is because I analyze and I think about every single wrongdoing that I've done. And it may take time. I've had a couple friends where I made dumb decisions and I made that other person feel like fucking garbage, feel like shit. And I didn't do anything for the longest time. And then I just thought about it and I just kind of thought, hey, I was one fucked up son of a bitch. Why did I do this? Why did I why did I do this? Was it because I wanted to feel good about myself? Was I in the moment? How about I apologize? And shit, that may have not happened now, but it'll definitely help me learn to not be in the moment and say these type of things to another person. Learn from your mistakes and make sure that you don't repeat them. You may repeat them, and that's perfectly fine. We are human. We make mistakes, and it is our job to learn from them. We will never be perfect, and that doesn't, just because we aren't perfect doesn't mean that there's no room for error. There is room for error. If we don't have error, we can't learn from it. So remember that when you start to overthink, you may be overthinking for a bad reason, but don't look at it as such a negative thing. When you overthink, you may feel sad, you may feel terrible because you're thinking about these situations. Instead, when you start to overthink, stop yourself, at least try, and think about why you're overthinking. And if you're overthinking about a situation that you could have definitely changed, but of course that's in the past now, you can't do anything about that now, it is your job to understand yourself and make it so that you change yourself and create a better image for yourself by learning from that mistake and remembering never to make that mistake again. This is definitely a shorter and more lighthearted thing compared to my other deep talks, but that's what it's kind of there for. I hope you guys all had a fantastic fucking Christmas. I know I did. Besides the fact that I'm a dumbass. But whatever. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Love you guys.